Hello there, I've been quiet for quite some time, haven't I? I've not been posting films to speak of. So I'm going to let you know what it is that's been going on and how this is something that may be useful to other people. So we find in our lives that there are situations that arise, and then we need some work, we need to do some healing work, and we go to somebody else or we do it ourselves when it's all done. And it's wonderful when things are like that, isn't it? You've got a problem, you go somewhere else, you pay a bit of money, fixed, lovely stuff. But what about for those occasions when that simply isn't enough? So that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to literally take myself through a process which I've never done before, but is based upon what I have learned in the past, but it's put together in a completely new way. So my situation is that I have known for a long time that despite having spent literally decades working to heal myself from what went on in my childhood, there's still work needs to be done. I'm not free, and in fact this has shown itself really dramatically with the house move, where I've actually moved from the north of England to the south to support my mum, and even the act of doing that has been a very challenging process in its own right. And what it's done is it's shown me that this work that I've felt the need of for a long time, the time is right. And so one of the clues to do with this is to do with what's been going on in my regular daily life. So one of the symptoms I've noticed is that I'm finding it harder and harder, more and more challenging to get the basic things in life done. And it's reached a point that the number of things I need to do is just increasing. And these are things I need to do and I'm not getting done. So there's things I need to do, I'm getting done, yeah, that's happening. But then there's the ones that's not getting done, and that is just increasing and increasing. And I felt less and less capable of living my life. So these are really good indicators that something's going on. But as some of you know, I'm not the fastest when it comes to certain things, especially personal stuff. So although that was a pretty big hint, it wasn't enough. So the universe sent me another one, and that is I have this goiter, this lump in my neck, and it's been there for a long time, and I know that's to do with things coming up that need to be said, and I haven't found a way to express myself. I've known that for a long, long time. However, what's actually happened very recently, just in the last few days to a week, is I've been in situations where suddenly I felt pain there. And that has been a pain-free zone in my life. No pain. So it's gone from no pain to pain. So it's like there's something else. So I've got two things: less able to function, number one, big one, and number two, equally big, pain in a part of my body that is obvious, that is drawing attention to myself. So these two things were enough to send me in a journey of discovery. So of course I picked up my drum and I've done my journeying work, as you would expect. And I've made use of one of my favourite plant medicines to help me on this journey. And I've sat outside on the balcony and I've meditated and I've journeyed, and it came to me really obviously. So obviously it's amazing, I hadn't seen it before. One of the things that helps us is to understand that we exist in all time frames. So just as much as I am here, someone, a qualified shamanic practitioner with a client base sitting here talking to you, I'm also that 10-year-old boy that went through all sorts of horrific experiences, and I'm also that person at some other age in a relationship with that particular person. I'm also a little baby, and I'm also in my mother's womb, and I'm also in all these places. I'm also in other lifetimes. All these things are going concurrently, because linear time ultimately is an illusion which we use to be able to function in terms of keeping appointments and making calendars. But when it comes to what's really going on, all these things are happening concurrently. So Because that is the case, then there is a 10-year-old boy who went through horrific experiences. So I did this most obvious thing you can imagine. I was outside there and I just started to tune into the 10-year-old boy, and I thought, I wonder what that 10-year-old boy would have to say to me right now. At that point, I was aware of being less and less capable of getting my life done, my daily things, and also having the pain in a part of my body. I don't ever experience pain. So these two things were pushing me, nudging me into this conversation which I was starting to have, because I was actually at the point now of asking, what's up? What's going on, 10-year-old boy? What would you like me to know? And so that is the beginning of this process I'm going to show you. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take an incredibly short break, and then I'm going to go into action with this. Thank you.